Hello beautiful people, Robyn Thomas here, also known as Braids by Rob. Welcome back to my channel. If you are interested in seeing how I take these micro braids down and fully detangle her hair, go ahead and stay tuned. I have tips and tricks on easy ways to take out your micro braids to help you preserve as much length as possible. So yeah, if you're interested, stay tuned. Alrighty, so these micros were installed on January 9th of this year, and this takedown was recorded on March 22nd. So she had her micro braids in just a few days over 10 weeks. So she almost she almost went 3 months with having her micro braids in. In between that time, she has had a touch up in her around her perimeter area. Or let me say this, it was really her part. So she gets her part redone however she likes to wear her part. That's where she got her touch up, and that was, I believe, sometime in late February, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I take out micro braids two ways. One of the ways I take out micro braids is with my fingers, my hands, fingernails. And another way I take out micro braids is with the comb. For the most part though, I do use my fingernails to take out micro braids. I feel like there's a little bit more control. You can feel what's going on whenever you're using your fingers as opposed to when you're using a comb. But again, I use both methods just depending on the specific braid that I'm taking down itself. So what I like to do is flip the braid. I like to take out the braid from the bottom part. So I braid regular, like downwards, I guess, if that makes sense. I don't braid like inside. And so it's easy when taking them out because all I do is find the ridge, I guess that is, and use my fingernails and remove it. Like that is just that simple. So I use my fingernails to take the ridge from the bottom part of the micro braid, and then I unbraid it like that. And it's really easy for me to unbraid it because of not borrowing her hair while installing the hair. Okay, so the second way that I do it is I flip it over and I find where those ridges are. I take the rat tail of the comb, I go in that ridge, I hold the braid with one hand, and then I put the rat tail comb, the end of the rat tail comb in that, just as you see right now, and I do the motion going downward to make sure it fully detangles, and then I take the braid out like that. So again, it depends on basically how easy or hard it is to take the braid out. For the most part, when it comes to the edges, I will probably use more of the comb than I would my fingers, just because I have more control by holding the braid with one of my hands, because as we know, the edges are very, very sensitive and they are the first to go. So you want to be extremely careful when it comes to the edges and taking the edges down. But for the most part, I definitely do use the end of the comb to take down the edges, as you can see here, because again, I have control with my left hand of holding it so that her hair isn't being pulled extra tight or anything like that, because I don't want to snatch it out because it's super duper delicate, especially with the amount of new growth that she has. Now I know you guys are probably looking like, why is her hair like that, you know, at the top left or whatever. So she had some clip ends before this install, in between her last micro braid install and this micro braid install, that caused her some of her edges because she had the clip ins on her edges. And so what we did, we talked about it, and we decided that it would be best to leave the hair out and let it regrow. Putting any type of added weight on there would not have been the best solution. And so here I'm just showing you that none of her hair comes out, as I'm taking her braids down. So none of her hair is coming out as I'm taking it down, which lets you know that I'm not ripping it out of her hair. And I'm taking my time and being very, very careful, especially around the edge portion. But back to her edges. So what we did was we just left those out. We decided it'd be best to leave them out and let them breathe so that she can, nurture it with water and some oil and massage the area in, and then simply slick it down when it comes time for her, to go outside and to wear it. Because the thing is, you want a protective style to protect. I would not be protecting her hair if I would have tried to put those little bitty pieces in braids. And honestly, I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a braider, I don't believe in that. I believe in a protective style being protective. And the only way to do that is to protect our hair all the way around. So I just make sure that I talk to my clients and my clients understand why I'm doing it the way that I'm doing it. And for the most part, they understand, because clients, they want their hair after the install as well. So as long as you communicate with them, they should be okay with you. If not, then maybe that's not the client for you or whatever. But all I know is I definitely don't want my clients to lose hair, and I also don't want them to blame me for any type of hair loss or anything that they've had. So I choose to go with my first mind, which is always to protect their hair first, and then of course giving them the style that they want second. But again, I talk to my clients, and most of the time my clients understand where I'm coming from and usually have no problem with it. Okay, so what I will say is that this this takedown took me about 3.5 hours to complete. Of course, it's much easier because I can see exactly what's going on. I can make sure that the hair that's already taken out is out of the way. The other hair is put to the side. Any type of tangles or anything, I'm able to see. But I know that everybody does not pay to get their micro braids taken down by others. So a tip that you guys can use is to slowly take your micro braids down. Micro braids are a great protective style, but I do know that a lot of people get scared because the install takes a while, and it almost seems like the takedown takes even longer than the install. But what I used to do when I was all the way back in like middle school, I would have my hair in a ponytail, my micro braids in a ponytail, and I would, every day after school, I would go home, I would take my ponytail out, section off a part of my hair that I knew that I wanted to take down for that day. I would unravel those, braid those pieces together, that free hair together, and then put my hair back into a ponytail. So another thing for people, I know you may not feel comfortable leaving the house with a half head undone, and I didn't either, you know what I'm saying? So what you can do is, as you're slowly taking your hair down, and I used to take about a week to take my hair down. I was very active when I was in middle school. I had a lot going on, so I didn't have that much time, but I was the person that was taking down my hair. So for those of you who are going to be out, especially like in the workforce and things like that, and you need to slowly take your micro braids down, look up on Pinterest or YouTube scarf styles. Like, you can become really creative, giving your hair a break, giving your hair a rest. That way you don't feel like you have to be up all throughout the night, or that you have to rush take your hair down, which can cause unnecessary breakage, from us rushing to take our hair down. Look up scarf styles and wear beanies or anything, something to cover up the hair that has already been taken out, especially like when the ponytail starts to become thinner and thinner. As you're taking your hair out, you're going to want to camouflage it somehow. So take your time when taking out your micro braids, and add things if you need to, a beanie, a scarf, a skull cap, depending on how the weather is or whatever outside. Figure out ways to where you can retain as much length as you can while taking out your protective style. And the way to do that is to be patient with yourself and to take your time when it comes to taking it out. Because again, if you're the one that's taking it out, you can't see what you're doing. It's so much easier for somebody else to do it. And actually, that was actually her case. She normally takes that herself, but she had so much work and stuff to do that she was like, you know what, I'm gonna let you take it out. And plus, she felt like she was losing a lot of hair because she was trying to rush and take it out. So me doing it kind of gave her more of a peace of mind, because she knows how I am about retaining as much length. And the detangling process, I most of the times use my fingers, you know, depending on what I'm detangling or how much I'm detangling or whatever the style that I'm detangling from, if that makes sense. So yeah, she just felt like, you know what, I feel like I lose a lot of hair whenever it comes down time for my takedown, and it's because I'm rushing a lot. You know, I don't have the time. So this time she decided to get me to take her hair down. I'm glad she did, you know, because we really got to talk about ways and methods and stuff to take, you know, the hair down a healthy way and things like that. So yeah, I'm just going to continue taking the rest of her braids down. Again, I go back and forth with my fingers and with the comb. I think at this point, maybe my wrists were just getting tired or something from the repetitive motion. So I decided to switch it up and do the comb. And then, you know, I'll probably go back to doing my fingers, just depending. But I get a little bit of rest when I switch back and forth, because again, I mean, these are micro braids. They're micro, they're super duper small, and your hands and your wrists and your arms and stuff could begin to hurt depending on how long you're working to take your micro braids out. So yeah, I'm gonna let you all continue to watch, and I'm gonna come back once it gets towards the end. Alrighty, so now I'm down to taking out the very last braid, and you're gonna see, I'm gonna show you my iPad because I do time. I charge hourly, depending on whenever I'm doing a takedown, especially for styles like micro braids, because you just never know how long they're gonna take to take them down. But you will see that it took me about 3 hours and 22 minutes to actually do the takedown process of it. I didn't do any detangling or anything. That's going to be in part 2, which will be uploaded soon after uploading this video onto my channel. When I do sure, I'll be sure to come back on this video and leave the link in the description box so that you all are able to easily go to the detangling video. But so I am just about finished. Boom, there goes the last one. 3 hours 22 minutes took me to take it down. These are her results. I personally like to go ahead and take everything down and then come back and detangle it. If you can see, her hair is like a little dry just off of looking at this video. And I'm going to talk more about hair care with your protective style, when micro braids is a protective style, on the next video of me actually going through and finger detangling. Yes, I said it, finger detangling her hair. If you are interested in the finger detangling portion, go ahead and subscribe so that you don't miss out on anything. Like, comment, share to somebody who may need it. Thank you all so much for tuning into this video. I hope it was helpful for you, and I will see you all next time. Peace and blessings.